Well, Bricks 2.3 has dropped, and I got to tell you, I'm starting to get worried there, Billy. There's starting to be some concerns, and we're going to talk about them in this video, and we'll get to it right after this. Stop building boring sites. Bricks FX Library gives you over 600 ready-to-use animations and effects for Bricks Builder, scroll animations, hover effects, and much more, all while being super lightweight. Want a bit more high-end? BFX Pro Toolkit gives you 82 top-tier effects like cinematic backgrounds, animated text, mouse interactions, and much more. With both tools, you just add a class to an element and you're done. No CSS or JavaScript knowledge needed. Your site goes from flat to incredible in seconds. Bricks FX, go make something that moves. All right, so 2.3 is here, and let's just run down the features, and I'll keep my thoughts until we just go over them real fast, okay? So first up, we have HTML and CSS to Bricks. You can get AI to create you some HTML and paste it into Bricks. Yeah, we'll come back to that. The next is pin control groups. Now, what is pin control groups? Well, let's say that you have yourself a thing here and you want to edit your CSS. You can now pin it and it'll stay down here. And then if I come down here, look at that. My CSS is still available. Boom. Now, don't get me wrong. I got to say, this kind of could be cool. Let's say like if I pin typography, for instance, well, yeah, that's down there. If I scroll down, you know, unfortunately, it's a little limited because it's only in the one space, you know. So that kind of meh. But for the one that it's actually usable for, which is CSS, great. I'm actually kind of stoked about it, I suppose. I kind of would have liked to been able to pin just the CSS thing because I really cannot see another thing that you would use on every, you know, on every element. You have your controls and, you know, it's funny because they show you kind of stacking this up and then all you have is this little thing for your controls. And I mean, that's never going to work. Even this is a little clunky, but you know, great. It's a feature. You can use it if you want. You don't have to use it. You know, personally, I probably will because I write a lot of my own CSS. So great. That's cool. Moving on. Let's see. We've got the image gallery, load more, infinite scroll. Cool. You know, that's, helps. Next up, we've got the new query filter controls, and yeah, okay, they're pretty good. You know, I can see maybe using some of them. I have to admit, I always thought the filter controls were a little lacking, so they're better now. That's good. So next up, you've got your color manager, and yeah, you can manage your colors. That's good. Got a pretty basic parallax effect. About time. Glad to see something there, you know, kind of limited, but not bad. And then the perspective and scale 3D. I think almost no one that would type into boxes would know how to use those anyway. So if you're using those, I'm pretty sure that you're writing your own CSS. So that seems a little weird. Now let's go back to the number one, the big one, the whole. We can now have AI create a web page and bam, you can just stick that shit on your page. How exciting is that, right? First of all, I want to just stop. I stopped it on the guy's video. And again, I'm not bagging on Bricks here. They're trying a new feature. I will comment at the end. So let's look at this. First of all, this prompt here, which is a pretty good prompt. I mean, you know, it says what he wants and, you know, it says, oh, hey, yeah, use semantic HTML header nav section. You know, that's all pretty good, but you're going to type this out every time or you're going to keep it somewhere where you could just cut and paste it. By the time you wrote this little book of a prompt, you could have probably built 3 pages just using the builder. And that's one of my main problems with it. It's one of my main problems. But you know, we watch the video and he goes and he imports it. And, you know, while I was watching the video, It's like, I just thinking to myself, this isn't going to end well. And, I watched through and I saw, all these SVG things. Well, that's not good and blah, blah, blah. So I decided, screw it. Let's do a real world kind of thing. Let's try it out. So I went and I created a more basic prompt, obviously, because I wanted to see, could I actually, make it quickly. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not bagging on AI. I'm not bagging on, this whole idea of, you vibe code. If you're not using AI to some degree now, if you're not leveraging what it can do, you're a twit. Simple as that. That's on you, buddy. You can have your higher moral thing, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I get up in the morning, I make a coffee and, I have an idea for a page. I say, hey, generate this page. And then I can kind of sit back and I can look and I go, I do like the idea of the 3 cards. I don't think I would do a header like that. And, I hadn't thought of using such a dark background there, but that does set just little visual things. It's kind of like a scratch pad. And then from here, how hard would it be to build this? But I digress. Let's follow along with the dude. He says you go over, you copy the code. This is going to be fun. And then you head over to your builder. I got a basic page here. It's just a blank sample page. And I guess it's not blank because I added a section. Let me go ahead and delete that. If you're wondering how I did that, keyboard shortcut is Command and Delete, or I think Control Delete on Windows. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and paste this in. And it's saying, do you want to convert? Yep, let's. And now it's come in, and let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll go ahead and sign all of these. All right, and now we have generally what we were looking at before, somewhat. Now I don't fault it for not bringing in images. I think that that's totally understandable. And in fact, I don't even think Claude's making images right now, but that's not really what my problem was. Well, my first problem is that, let's look at the structure here. I have some div, and that has some basic text. Oh, that's our header here. Okay, fine, I suppose. It's got a basic text, some div, lots of other little divs inside of it. That's good. Don't know why, but sure. And you've got your little link in there. But again, we cannot fault the Bricks team for any of this crap. This is just what AI does. Kind of makes something basically usable, but truthfully, the code is kind of cobbled together. And still, no judgment here. I don't care. So, but here is one issue. It brings in a section. It has no container. And in fact, let's look at this section. I'm noticing some really weird thing, like my sections have padding. So let's go ahead. We'll hold down Shift, select these two, and we will wrap these in a container so that they should have the padding. Nope, no padding. Wonder why. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, it's created a class called Services, rather a general name for classes, but okay. It's AI, not Bricks' fault. And when we go to the layout, we'll see, oh, bloody hell. So they used a calc, and I'm guessing it was supposed to be the space M, which I had asked for, times 4. And I guess the whole calc thing broke the import fine. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's take that away, and we get our natural padding that comes in from the thing. Great. And, we'd have to go through. I'm guessing all of these are going to have, they're all going to have the same. So now I got to go through every section and do that. Oh, this one doesn't. Oh, no, wait. I got to select no, it doesn't. So now I would have to go through and, oh yeah, right. This isn't in a container, so it's breaking the width, which honestly, I've been noticing, oh, what's here now? Now we've got a container that gets our width, but for some reason, these divs here are not taking. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that there's a width on this. Oh, I see. We've got auto. Oh, and a max width of 1100. So I'm not going to go through every little thing that it's doing wrong here, because we know that this is what AI does. It cobbles some stuff together. It looks pretty good to the untrained eye, and it gives you a rough idea. My question is this: why in the hell did we put as our big update something to import junk into Bricks with? We all use Bricks with the auspicion that this is for, we're creating the most professional product that you can as a WordPress developer. And we're giving a shortcut for something that I truly think Elementor themselves wouldn't even really do this. It's going to create such a mess that the idea that you're going to be able to get anything useful out of this, you're going to shave any time off, it's ridiculous. So without going into this too long, I do want to do one thing. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I have to save here to see this. Oh, no, I don't. Good, because I want to save this. Look at this. 46 classes that one page brought in. And we've got names such as, H card, button primary. It's a good chance you might have been using that already. Hero description, hero title. You see what I'm saying? The next page that you run is going to conflict with every single damn one of these, and it's going to want to overwrite it. And it's just a headache waiting to happen. I get what they're trying to do to try and get the AI juices flowing. It's got to come. We probably don't want it to, but the truth is it's got to come, and we're going to have to deal with it. But this was not the way. This was not the way to start this. This feels very off. Now, let's go ahead and look at what their future plans are, because at this point, I'm left going, well, wait, who are they building for now? Used to feel like we were the advanced users, and then the little military munchkin goes and creates that other builder, and this is the most advanced, and you could code everything, then use VS Code. You know what? If you want to hand code that much, what the hell are you even working in WordPress anymore for? So let's get back to this. Let's look at what the direction that they're going in. They have an AI agent in progress. That's cool. I mean, honestly, they have to do that. There's no other question about it. I noticed that it doesn't have any upvotes, and that's understandable. Like I say, they're like, hey, this has to be done. Cool. I get it. Some WooCommerce stuff that I promise you, guys are going to be stoked about the WooCommerce thing. The Lodi animations, that's been a promise for I don't know how long. And again, some more Woo filters. Great. So far, we're clipping along, right? Then I look at the next, I see MCP support. Now, I'm going to assume that 99.9% of you have no clue what MCP even stands for, but it is basically it's a structure for AI to talk with APIs. And I mean, I'm kind of oversimplifying, and I don't understand it completely either, because you know what? I have a life. I don't read every damn thing that comes out. But the point is, I'm not exactly sure who this is supposed to help. And I noticed it has no upvotes. And literally, this feels like maybe 3 people out there would ever use this. And I don't think those are the kind of numbers that Bricks needs, because let's admit, I don't know if you've checked, the Bricks growth rate has slowed dramatically. So the next thing we have is you're going to be able to trigger your animations. Should you use them, they're in your interactions thing here. You basically, you select something, you go to your interactions, you add one, you go down to what your trigger is, and usually I think you go enter viewport, and then your action, you're going to go down. It's really buried in here, and I don't even exactly remember how to do it. start animation. And from there, you get to pick from this small list of some basic animations. Really no settings for it, but at least now you'll have a trigger for it. Now, again, I feel a little bit like an ass because obviously, I produced Bricks FX because this was a problem, and I'm not bagging on them. Good on them for finally adding a little feature to that. So that's coming up. But again, I'm just left going, who are they building for? That's all I want to know, is who is their target buyer? And as I look at this last update and as I look at their roadmap, I truly am not sure. I really think the WooCommerce thing is great. I think they could get a lot of new users if they beefed up that WooCommerce thing. I know for sure it is a sore spot amongst a lot of users, But all of these advanced MCP supports and stuff for a micro niche of and I'm bummed because I'm like, damn, all the other builders, they caught up. They took the ideas that Bricks did. Now I still believe Bricks is the best builder, but I do believe it right now is a builder not exactly sure where its heart is at. And hopefully that changes very soon. Because if not, people are going to meander. They're going to start looking. And I hope that they don't do that because right now it's a kick-ass builder. So that's all I got to say. If you disagree with me, you can say it down below. I don't care. I answer all of them. So I don't care. I'll argue with you till I'm blue in the face. It doesn't bother me. All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.